This is a tool, and just like any other tool, you need to learn how to use it. So today we are going to talk about the basics of a squeegee technique on color vinyl. Let's get right into it. The number one thing I think I see a lot of people make mistakes on is they reuse squeegees way too many times. So you look at this hair little thing. This thing is so old. This has been dropped. I mean, you should not reuse this on any vehicle, right? This one is just dirty. And first of all, this is actually a wet one. It's not felt, right? This one is a little bit newer, but you want to make sure, like if you're getting a job and you're doing this professionally, you just use a new squeegee every single time. It's literally like a few dollars. So that's what I would do. You know, these are just stuff that I've collected. I get a lot of them all the time. But if you don't want to get a new squeegee, you could actually replace this. You can buy a roll, and then you could replace this every single install. And I would get in the habit of doing that every few panels, for example. If you drop it, I would get another one. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about how to actually hold the squeegee. The main thing that you want to keep in mind is this is about 4 inches, right? And when you hold it, you want to use all your 4 fingers, because imagine if you hold it like this with 2 fingers. When you squeegee, you're not going to have all of that stability on this squeegee, right? So you actually want 4 fingers and kind of use that thumb, and you're going to hold it nice and stable. When we squeegee, you do like a very short, like 45 angle, sometimes like 60 and then like 90. 90 isn't very common. Most of the time, you're going to be doing it at 45 angle and then going this way. So now that we have the angles kind of figured out, let's talk about the 2 techniques that you commonly see, right? There's really 2 types. It's going to be the push and the pull. The push is you're pushing, right? So like this way. And then the pull is going to be when you're pulling, right, inwards. So when would you do that? I think pulling, you definitely get a little bit more force. But most of the time when you're, let's say you're doing this door, you want to make sure that you're doing a push method. And the reason why is, think about if you're pulling, the wrinkles that appear, you don't see any of that. You have no visual. But if you're pushing like this, as you're pushing the vinyl across, you're seeing what's actually happening to the vinyl. And part of the work that you're going to be doing when you're wrapping a car is going to be understanding the vinyl, reading the vinyl, and understanding how it's going to react to the squeegee and your force. You know, you see this right here. And if you do this, you can see what's happening here compared to kind of like that. I mean, nothing happened. There's a very, very flat panel, but you can't really see what's going on if you're just pulling because you're covering it. When will you be doing the pull? Let's say you're at the edge and this is a final edge. There is no wrinkles. You've had it glassed out perfectly. I mean, you can pull it down. That's no problem because it provides a good amount of force. So you can do that pull method. But most of the time, again, you're going to be doing the push at that 45-degree angle. I shouldn't have squeeged it so hard, but overlap is such an important aspect to squeegeeing. So for best visual, I think I'm going to put it up here. All right, so when you overlap, I think some people when they squeegee, they go like this, and then they might go here. There is a whole area that was completely missed. So instead of doing like this and kind of going in very linear fashion, you'll see some rap artists, instead of doing that, what they'll end up doing, right, is they'll start kind of in the middle, right, and then they'll go and then overlap and continue to go down, right? And that overlap is so important. So as you're kind of going here, you're kind of doing this motion right here. And you'll get better at it as you go, but you kind of go 45, 45, 45, 45. And if you really want to practice this, kind of doing this 45 technique, you could actually just get a vinyl like this, like just get any other vinyl like a 3M Avery, and then draw lines, and then you could follow that line, right? Just so that you can kind of practice that motion and you get that muscle memory. So that's really important to do that overlap. If you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to create air pockets, bubbles. You're going to finish this whole beautiful door. You're going to get to it, and there's going to be a bubble right down the center. So that's really a very, very important part. You do need a good amount of force. I think a lot of people like to use their palm. They like using something like a wrap glove, and they're kind of going through it, right? Or using their fingers all throughout. That force isn't consistent enough, so a squeegee is very, very important. You want to make sure you have a consistent and even pressure all the way throughout when you are wrapping a car. So now, if you follow all of that, if anything, and you learn a few of those things, you are going to be much better off when you are wrapping a car. It's going to help you in the long run. And if you do, I mean, look how it's going to be hard to remove that. Let us know in the comments below if you have any other tips for basic squeegee techniques. Or if not, you got to throw this away now. Happy squeegeeing, and we'll see you next Wednesday.